So in this, I am going to explain how to set up the proxy server for practicing the cross-site scripting, uh, XML, external entity attacks, and injection attacks via WebGoat vulnerable application. Here, the proxy is nothing but already we have seen when we set up the burp suite, the user request will go to the browser, and the browser, whenever the proxy configuration was set in browser, the request will be forwarded to the proxy, and proxy will in turn send the request to the web server, and whatever the response received from the web server will again be forwarded with the proxy and will be sent to the browser for the user display. This is what we have discussed when we go on for the burp suite. In burp suite, we have already seen that there are two versions. One is community edition, another is professional edition. In community edition, which is free and available in the Kali Linux, that also can be used for the proxy purpose. However, several operations such as the interception, fabrication, these kind of things are somewhat difficult to do in the community edition because all features are not included, like how it will be used in the professional edition. So, for the burp suite, along with to work with the that is proxy kind of thing, like burp suite in the OWASP WebGoat security vulnerable application, to work with that, the OWASP has provided a proxy tool called Zap tool. Okay, Zap proxy. So here, either you may use burp or Zap proxy. So Zap proxy is a free tool that was developed by the OWASP and freely available on Kali Linux. So today we'll see the exploration of the Zap proxy. How can we configure the Zap, and how to configure the browser, and how to check for the request and response, and how to inject the request and responses request in via the Zap proxy. So once you get the familiarity of this, then we can start discussing the XML external entity attacks and injection attacks, because this injection will be done from the Zap proxy tool. So first of all, one must know the understanding the working procedure of the Zap proxy and how to configure it with the web browser. So anyhow, in the previous lecture, I have explained the introduction to the burp suite, how to configure the burp suite and how to configure with the web browser. The same Zap proxy will also be looking like the same like how the burp suite works, but with small differences there. So that will move on to the Kali Linux. So we have seen the burp suite is available from the search box like this burp. Like that, you will also find the Zap. If Zap is not there, then you may install from the command prompt like sudo apt install Zap. If you are using the Kali Linux 2019 onwards, the Zap tool has been included in the Kali image itself. Previously, this Zap is not there, so you need to install externally. But from 2019 versions onwards, this Zap tool has been included. So currently I am using 2021.1 version, so which is the latest version. So hence this Zap tool is available in this. Okay, it will take little bit time for configuring the server and starting, depending upon the configuration of your computer. This Zap will be, whenever it's opened, it will ask you, do you want to persist the Zap session? It is just like how the burp suite will ask you to save the session that what you have conducted during that particular time. So it will ask you at the beginning, do you want to save this session or not? So here, okay, proxy port 8080 was in use. Try some other proxies numbers is asking. It will be afterwards. And, so it is asking you that do you want to persist the session? Yes, I want to persist, and persist is nothing but save the session. Persisting is nothing but saving the content into the file. Okay. So currently I don't want to persist anything. Start. So it was started here. Like how burp suite was configured with the 8081 port to not to disturb any HTTP requests like 8080. So what we can do is go to tools, options. In this options, you'll be finding the local proxies. Here you find local proxies. In this local proxies, here port is by default set as 8080. You may change it to 8081 or 8089. That is up to you. Because 8080 port in general will disturb the regular HTTP services that will run on the computer. So you can also set up the security protocols SSL version 2, SSL 3, TLS1, TLS 1.1, TLS 1.2 like that. So if you want to enable with TLS 1.3, then you can click here. Currently, the WebGoat don't have this TLS 1.3 kind of security mechanism. Hence, I am not enabling it. That's okay. So once you configure the primary proxy with the localhost 8081, then this will be configured, or this will be entered into the browser. As we have seen here, the proxy information must be entered into the browser for working purpose. So let me open the browser. Now whenever I say http :// 19.168.8000, so it is not coming. The reason is the proxy was not set. So go to the preferences. And general, in which you will be having, go to the end of this particular page, you will be finding the network settings. In this network settings, here no proxy is there. Set the manual proxy configuration. The local host is 127.0.0.1 and port is 8081, what that we have set. And check this particular thing. Also use this proxy for FTP and HTTPS. Okay. So now you will get this particular thing. And sometimes because this is the proxy one, obviously whenever any request comes from the web browser, has to handled by the proxy. So the proxy should trust the browser. The proxy should trust the browser that the request is coming from the browser itself and the response will also be going to the web browser. So in order to have the trust, there should be a security certificate must be established between the proxy and the browser. So who will generate the certificate? The certificate will be generated by the proxy. And that certificate must be included in the browser so that the proxy will come to know that the request is coming from the valid browser. That is the reason we need to go to the OAuth. So we need to go to the OAuth. Then in this tools, go to options, in which dynamic SSL certificate. So if you observe here, dynamic SSL certificates. Click on dynamic SSL certificates. So here the dynamic SSL certificate was generated here. You can generate another certificate also, that is up to you. So once you generate it, okay, root certificate is already available. If you want to, do you want to override the current certificate? Yes. So new certificate will be generated and this certificate may be saved. So click the certificate and save this particular certificate. So once you save this certificate, click OK. Now the certificate was generated by the proxy. Now once the certificate is generated by the proxy, then this certificate must be entered in the browser. Then only from next time onwards, whatever the request comes, that will be handled by the proxy in a trusted way. So go to the Mozilla and go to the preferences. In which privacy and security, in which go to the end. Here certificates. Okay. In certificates, always you check that whether it is clicked on ask you every time, and click on view certificates. In this view certificates, there are several columns, several tabs like your certificate, authentication decision, people, server, and authorities. So the authorities will be the default tab that will be shown here. Once you click on authorities, scroll down, you will be finding import. Click on import. You will be finding the root, okay, where I have saved this OAS ZAP root CA. Select this and open. Whenever you open, it will ask you, you have been asked to trust a new certificate authority. Do you want to trust this particular thing? Trust this certificate authority to identify websites. Also, trust this authority to identify the email users. And if you want to view the certificate authority, you can view here. Anyhow, we have generated it, so no need of viewing this. Okay. And okay. So once you do this, just to close the browser and reopen. So before it reopens, there will be here history, search, alert, output like that. So history will give you whatever you are browsing. It is just like HTTP history in Burpsuit. The same history will be shown here. What is the URL you have clicked? What is the method that the URL is posting? Whether it is get method or post method or read method will be shown here. And if you want to see more things, you can click here on plus. So you will get some more options like proxy information and active scan, breaking points. Like that, you will be having many things that you are going to get here. Depending upon the work that you want to do, you can check for the tabs over here. Here, WebSockets, Spider, parameters, injecting of some parameters like that will be there here. So here, WebSocket, the socket was established with the browser because the browser has started and some activity is going on here. So this we don't need to have anything in this. Our main thing is related to the history. Now history in which this particular browser was started, that is what we have come to know. Now we can go to the http://webgoat login. So whenever webgoat login was open, then you look at here, the history is going to be recorded here. That is what is the URL opened and its related web pages, and its details can be observed in the history. It is just like Burpsuit, how we can record the history. In the same way, here also we can record the history. So once you open this, go to the webgoat, and password is also webgoat. We are aware of that. So once you log in, you can see the tracking is going on. The post request we are going to give, because username and password was sent by a post request. So here post we got here. Just if you click on post, then you will get the information. What is the post in here? Username is equal to webgoat and password is equal to webgoat. The same that how you have the websuit, the same thing the ZAP proxy also. This is the way of configuring the ZAP proxy and can record the activities that what we will do with the browser web applications. Whatever the web applications that we open in the browser, with that we can do these particular tasks. So always whenever you give the parameters and give the press the submit button, then automatically a post method will be recorded. So that means if you want to look for any parameters or parameter requests and corresponding responses, then we need to check for the post method. So this is the post method. So with this we can identify the username and password. So this is the way how Zap proxy will record the activities that is happening in the web browser.